Welcome to my brief tour of the Battle for Azeroth Alpha. Now, these zones are very large, so I'm afraid I can't include everything. I'm sort of going for a tourist's best bits here. I'll be focusing on the solo content in this video, so no dungeons or island expeditions. I'll cover those another day. So, as I'm sure you can tell, I'm starting with the Horde areas. Now, normally I'm an Alliance girl, but this zone is just so stunningly beautiful that I'm seriously considering defecting. So, we're starting off in what is the Horde faction's main city in this expansion, and it really is built on an epic scale. It's a pretty big city, so I'm just going to give you a quick view of the main street. But the city does include the tiers of the step temples and has some very nice waterfalls around the side. The street is lined with vendors, although I do confess that I couldn't find a repair vendor when I used one the other day, but I'm sure there is one around. Having had an explore of both the Alliance and Horde areas, I have to say that this one is the more complete of the two, but I did manage to pull through the edge of one of the temples here, so it is still a work in progress. I did report the bug after replicating it, deliberately, of course. I wouldn't be stupid enough to make the same mistake twice. Now, you might wonder why in an alpha, when I could go with any class at all, I would choose a priest for solo content. Good question. Masochism maybe? Or as I prefer to call it, a thorough testing of enemies' health pools. Don't worry, I've edited out all the bits where I died. Which of course I didn't, because obviously I'm far too pro for that. Hey, get rid of that death counter right now! You are so fired! Anyway, the area we're in now is Nazmir, which Blizzard described on their website as a bleak swamp. Well, let me tell you, that description really doesn't do it justice. The trees, the atmospherics, it's just all so beautiful and I find it just enchanting to explore. The zone also contains more than just swamp. There's also a dark temple with spirits flying around. There's this lovely front grotto, which I'm walking through at the moment. You even get to help the Teenage Ninja Turtles. Okay, they might not be the ninja variety, but there are walking turtles. As you can see, they've also changed the main skills bar. Or you would be able to if I hadn't accidentally messed up my video capture settings and chopped a bit of the video feed off. Sorry about that. I'll be sure to get it right next time. Anyway, the only thing that's disappointing in this one is that the quests don't come in quite the same amount of variety as the environment. They mainly seem to be kill X number of mobs or collect Y number of items, but we're still early in the testing, so there's plenty of time for the devs to correct that. Now, here we are in Alliance land, and despite the fact that the Horde zone did capture my heart, this one's not too bad either. The Alliance's main city is certainly equally grand, if more in a sprawling metropolis kind of way. The zone is actually called Tiragard Sound, by the way, not Alliance land, but I think my name is so much better. So, what we have is a giant coastal city with a very big harbour. The buildings here don't have the epic scale of the Horde city, but there is an awful lot more of them. And they all have a sort of gothic-y, steampunky design, which, I do actually really like. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this area is not quite so finished as the Horde one, so there are still the occasional gaps and holes, of which this is my absolute favourite. Watch this. It is like the most fantastic shortcut ever. I haven't reported that one yet. Anyway, the city is built around a network of waterways, and this is the first zone to have ferry routes as well as flight paths. This means that if you're bored of griffins, you can have a couple of burly sailors row you instead. Now, this is the other Alliance zone, Drustvar, and as you can see, it has a very eerie, gothic, occult sort of vibe. This zone is a bit smaller than Tiragard Sound and is mainly dominated by a massive mountain, which unfortunately I haven't been able to explore yet. Now, I'm afraid that's all I've got time for today. Hopefully, once I've explored a bit more, I'll add a part 2.